Hi, I'm Bianca Tarrant, co-founder of Our Cow, and welcome back to Paddock Talk. Today's guest needs no introduction to rugby league fans. He's one of the best players in the game. Cam Murray is the captain of the South Sydney Rabbitohs, known not just for his elite footy skills, but for his discipline, leadership, and resilience on and off the field. This year, Cam's been sidelined with a serious Achilles injury, but we know he's been keeping himself busy, and in this episode, we're going to chat through Cam's passion around farming, food, nutrition, and just a little bit of footy. Thanks for joining us, Cam, for episode 5 of Paddock Talk. We're only pretty new to this, probably not quite as experienced as the media that you're used to.
It's all good.
But first things first, how's the body? How's rehab going?
Yeah, it's good. Thanks for that introduction. Very nice. The body's going good. Ticking boxes every day and really not too far off getting back on the field. So it's been quite the journey this year, but I'm hoping that I can get a few games before the season's end.
Well, that'll be exciting.
That's awesome, mate.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you back out there.
Yeah, keen as. It's just you never really notice how much you miss something until it's just taken away from you, and it's one of my biggest passions, obviously, doing what I do. So I'm sure you guys can relate it to what you guys do. If it's all taken away from you, you just you get a bit lost and start to really appreciate what sometimes you take for granted. So there's always silver linings, and that's probably one of them this year, is just how grateful I am to be able to do what I do.
I know when we talked last time, you mentioned that like the two most important things for rehab was sleep and food. Like, how's that work into your rehab? Like, why do you think that?
I think it's backed by science, and so I just listen to the science. But putting it into a practical sense, you feel the best when you're eating good and you're sleeping good, really. And so you just listen to your body and what it needs, and that the sleep's probably number one, and then nutrition follows that. And so doing what I do, you need to be pretty disciplined in terms of your recovery. And obviously I've been trying to get back on the field as soon as I can this year. So yeah, I've just been trying to be real disciplined around everything that I'm doing there. So yes, it's pretty tricky with a 18-month-old who doesn't love to sleep and then is fussy about what she eats, and so she keeps me on my toes a bit. But it's all part of the journey. So trying to be as good as I can in that area. Has what you eat changed since being in recovery? Like, what does a day on the plate look like now versus like game day? So I don't think it's changed much. It's more, I've probably taken a few more supplements than I normally would. And my journey, particularly around nutrition, is ever evolving. And so I've been taking like a collagen supplement in the morning.
That for your skin?
Nice, get a glow up.
And your hair.
Yeah, and the hair. Hopefully that's a nice byproduct, but really I just want the tendon to heal faster, if I'm honest, with the collagen. So I've been doing that, doing some creatine as well. And then I've more just sort of really honed in on my discipline around what time I'm eating and then what's actually on my plate as well. And so obviously recovery and rehab, you need a high protein diet. And you need quality protein, not all proteins made equal. I'm always looking for the bioavailable, the protein that is fast and readily absorbed. And so looking for like the high quality grass-fed and grass-finished, like beef products is one of my favorites. And then just like good pasture-raised eggs and all the sort of buzzwords and those types of things. And so it's always tricky, but I'm just trying to sort of be pretty disciplined around that type of thing.
Do they put a lot of emphasis on that, like in the footy world, around like the type of protein that you guys eat, or is that something that you've sort of taken on board yourself to like go to the next step with like looking for that grass-fed, free-range kind of protein?
It's definitely something I've taken on board myself. And I know not every place is the same, but what I'm used to, quality is sort of taking a back seat when it comes to choosing what to eat. And so everyone's looking to tick off their macros and the calories and all that type of thing. But I find not a lot of people are deep diving into the quality side of things. And so yeah, it's something that I sort of went down the rabbit hole a couple of years ago. I think I was telling you last time I watched the Kiss the Ground documentary on Netflix and sort of went down the rabbit hole after that. And I'm still well and truly digging around in that burrow and figuring it all out myself. But since I watched that documentary a couple of years ago, I'm still, my diet's changed a fair bit, and my awareness around what's on my plate's changed a fair bit too. So yeah, it's all spiraled into sort of aligning sort of the quality protein and the quality food, and then what my nutritional requirements are to play at the highest level and do what I do, and mixing in with that. And that's kind of where it all started. And now that's kind of branched off a little bit into now nourishing and feeding my family the best food possible as well. Obviously, I've got an 18-month-old daughter who I'm trying to be as responsible as I can around what she's eating and making sure I'm giving her the best chance and best start, with what's on her plate as well. And so, yeah, it's all like consumes a lot of my thoughts and everything like that. And it's a big part of what I'm passionate about off the field. And so, yeah, like I said, it's an ever evolving journey, but I love it a lot. So it's not too stressful for me.
I think it opened your eyes a lot, like when you are responsible for a little one, like you said, you've got your daughter there now, like you want to make sure what she's putting in her mouth and in her body, like she's having the best start to her little life as she can, like taking a lot more care and time and thought about what actually goes into food. Yeah, it makes a big difference, like you just see little kids getting around with the packets of shapes and stuff like that, and you're just sort of like, is that the best thing for them,
Yeah, exactly.
I always relate my these things to farming, right? And I always think that when you have a calf, when it hits the ground, you want it to never have a backwards day. You want it to be eating the best nutrition possible and going forward as fast as it can. And I think, I don't know, like I always relate things in human world back to farming. And I think it's definitely the same. What do you say, Cam?
Yeah, and I'm the same too. I think I relate everything in my life back to the footy field as well, because it's just what I know best. And to give yourself the best chance of performing and not letting your teammates down and just giving yourself every opportunity to be at your best, you need to sort of implement those 1%ers and those things that are going to give you that competitive advantage over your competition. And so it's a big part of it. It's hard to explain that the difference between like a plate that looks the same as another plate that's got grass-fed and grass-finished, no sprays, organic, nutrient-dense food on it, to another one. But to me, that it makes a difference, and it's given me a competitive advantage over my competition as well. So, I think it's really important. And Bianca, just going back to what you said about the shapes, I'm the same, and I have to pull myself back a little bit from judgment, and particularly becoming a parent now and knowing how hard it is to feed a fussy kid. Like sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, and but I think just having it in the back of your mind and caring and trying to get those staple sort of meals in the most nutritious fashion possible, I think is so important. And then, if you need to sort of bribe the kid with a little snack here and there, you got to do what you got to do. But I definitely feel like education and knowledge around what is good and what is bad is something that is paramount for a parent. Like, if you're feeding your dog like terrible food and it's getting around fat people are telling you that, that's animal abuse, but nobody really talks about that in parenthood, and it's such a big sort of issue, I think, is the awareness around the difference in quality between different foods.
100%. We always say, like, you are what you eats. Like, if the protein that you're eating has been fed, like on a really heavy grain-based, soy-based, corn-based diet, like you're actually ingesting a lot of that as well. And same with we said about like the organic, like poisons, chemicals, fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides, like all that sort of stuff. Like there is still parts of that you're ingesting if the food that you're eating has been susceptible to all of that too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's just awareness and education, I think. And obviously the content and the message that you guys are pushing out, I think is fantastic, because more people need to understand where their food comes from, and the nutritional differences between different types of food that are on our plate.
So, Cam, you've obviously taken your nutrition one step further, and you want to actually learn about like growing your own food. And so you've got this dream about becoming a farmer one day. Can you tell us how like that journey started and where you're at with that?
Yeah, well, that might have started a little bit before that Kiss the Ground documentary. I grew up in the city. Born and bred in the concrete jungle. But I was always an outdoors kid. I never sat inside and played the PlayStation, and I was always an outdoors kid. I had my feet in the sand or in the dirt or in the grass, running around barefoot, playing backyard cricket or footy. And the most joy that I had was just running around outside as a kid. And I'm really grateful. I think I was probably the last generation of kids to come up without the reliance and such a heavy sort of screen time sort of generation. And we just had to entertain ourselves outside. And so part of that sort of dream that you're talking about is about raising kids and giving my daughter and any other future kids the best chance and the best childhood possible. And I don't want to be parenting barn raised kids, that are sitting inside and relying on technology. I want them to get out and about and experience the fun and all the joy that I had the outdoors. And I think there's no better way in doing that than out in the bush on a farm, and other things, all the discipline that comes with and the hard work that'll come with being a farmer. So I'm still yet to convince my partner Miranda. I don't know if she's ready to move out there when I'm done, but I'm still working on it. But we're actually one step closer. We actually just bought a place about 2.5 hours south of
nice, mate. Congratulations.
Sydney. So yeah, we're now officially farmers with all the gear and no ideas. So
that's the best.
Yeah, well, straight in the deep end. But yeah, it's really been a dream of mine for a long time, and so I don't really have any regrets so far anyway. But I'm just really looking forward to the journey. And I think I said to you guys last time, one of the things that drives me is purpose, particularly obviously families, and being a dad is a massive part of who I am and what I want to do. But then obviously purpose outside of the household is doing what I love and finding something that I'm really passionate about. And I don't know if I'll ever find something if I'm as passionate about as what I am with footy and all the challenges and all the highs and lows that brings. But I think farming's going to go close. It's something that's I've kind of had a mini obsession about for probably the last 5 to 7 years now. And it's something that I can really see myself transitioning into later on. Later on full time, and then maybe part time now that we've got a place. But I think just finding something that I'm passionate about, that fills me with a lot of purpose and a lot of drive is what drives me. And so trying to put some things in place now to make sure that there's something there post football.
So good. And like you obviously touched on it a little bit before, but like congratulations, like I'm really happy for you, mate, because it's a huge step and it's a big challenge to get into. But so like you touched on it a bit before, but like what sparked your interest in, you know, going down a different sort of farming method to more like of your traditional type farming operations? Like you sort of touched on a little bit before.
Yeah, so I obviously watched that documentary, and then I came across some sort of pioneers in the Australian regenerative agriculture space. I read Charles Massey's book called The Reed Wobbler, and on following heaps of people on social media, listening to a few podcasts, all about everyone's sort of regenerative farms and things like that, and then obviously deep diving into sort of the science-backed nutrition. About the difference between sort of mass-produced industrial agriculture sort of food, and then the difference between that and regenerative agriculture and actually like farming with nature and not against it, and finding out certain ways to go against the norm of heavy inputs and artificial fertilizers and chemicals and all that type of thing, and how ruminants and certain types of grazing methods can actually improve land and improve organic matter, improve carbon sequestration, and improve landscapes. I just thought that it had promise and a lot of the answers to what I think is a lot of the world's problems and what we're facing at the moment. And all the while we're creating nutrient dense protein that can nourish, that can nourish the people that you love. And so I just thought it was the best thing since sliced bread, regenerative agriculture. And I just thought I wanted to learn more, and it couldn't be further contradicting everything that I've ever done in my life. I can't even drive a manual car. Like, I'm the most city boy ever, but I'm obsessed with it. And so, yeah, I'm excited for the journey, but yeah, it's it really aligns with a lot of the things that I'm passionate about, and so yeah, I'm just really looking forward to getting everything up off the ground. Hopefully, getting our own operation off the ground, and working with you guys and leaning on the knowledge and the systems that you guys have established already. So yeah, hopefully it's going to be a fun journey.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun.
It's going to be lots of fun. We're really excited for you.
Thanks.
So, like, obviously you're pretty early on in your farming journey, but like, can you talk about some of the challenges that you've already had so far, Cam? Like, not knowing things, or like just what to look for, or like what's been some of the challenges early on that you've faced, from someone that's gone from being a city boy, like you say, to like, going on this whole farming journey?
Yeah, plenty. I don't know if we have time to go through them all, if I'm honest. But I think the first big challenge is just working out how I'm going to farm the way that I want to farm without being there, and being in the city. So that's the first big sort of friction that I need to work out. And then what else? Obviously, not coming from a farming background, understanding sort of the economical viability of a farm, and everyone always tells me how volatile, like the farming friends that I know, how volatile the market is, how volatile weather and all these things that you can't control, and how hard it is to make a living from a farm, and how many people have tried to talk me out of it. And so yeah, and so it's all scary. And then again, like, not coming from a farming background, like, I don't think I've ever moved a mob of cattle from one paddock to the other. So just, I need to work that out. I need to work out logistics to buy a mob of weaners and put them on my farm. I need to work out how, like, where the closest abattoirs are, like the processing facilities, boxes if I want to do meat boxes, or if I want to sell direct to like butchers, or I need to work all of this out. And so yeah, that's pretty much everything is a bit scary for me, and there's a few sort of things that I need to learn along the way, but I'm willing to do it, and the other one was the cost of land as well, and I've for the last couple of years I've wanted to do something like this, but I've tried to work out ways that I can do it without actually incurring the cost of the land, because there's a lot of unknowns, and I'm just not too sure if I'm going to be able to make it work economically. And so I could never really work out how I could have skin in the game like this without owning land. And so that's a big, I can imagine that would be a big barrier for farmers as well. And I'm sure it was for you guys. I've heard you guys speak about it as well before you got your first place. And so, there's a lot of challenges without a doubt. And that's coming from a non-farmer himself. So I'm sure I've missed a few there, but a lot of exciting obstacles to face in the near future.
Yeah, no, that's good. Well, I think last time we chatted, and over the time that we've been talking, like, you have so many questions for us. Don't want to put you on the spot, but I thought it could be like a fun little thing to go, okay, what's some rapid fire, like where you are now, Cam, like what's some questions that you want to ask us right now about like where you're at
Farming.
where you're at farming wise, and sort of maybe we might be able to answer them.
All right. Well, we haven't even exchanged contracts yet, so I'm hoping that'll get across the line before this gets released. But once all that's done, we've got an extended settlement, which probably will help as well. But the first question is what I said earlier about, and I think I asked it to you guys last time, but what would you recommend for somebody that needs to be in the city? How do you reckon I manage a farm without being there, really?
Yeah. So like an absentee owner.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And
I think like most people that that do get the opportunity to get onto a farm, they have to have an off-farm income, and they're not usually there full time. Like we were the same. We were absentee owners when we first finally managed to save our ass up to get a deposit for our farm and then get onto it. So what we did basically is we bought some young heifers to go onto our farm. We didn't go into cows and calves initially because they take a lot more management. And so we bought some weaner heifers just as initial stock, and we only bought like 20 or 30 of those, didn't we? And we knew that, if we were away for 7 days or something like that, that they were going to be okay.
Yep.
We knew that, we had a system in place where they had access to water, they had access to grass. We just prepared to set up our place that if we're away for 7 days when we were flying in and out of the mine, that everything was going to be okay. And
the thing with a farm is like it'll still be there tomorrow, the work. Like it's not like, you're running a butcher shop or something like that and you like have to get the work done today. Like if you don't get the fence fixed today, like it'll still be there tomorrow. Like there's not that many like pressing urgent things that happen.
There is a high lot of priorities that you need to address first up. Like, you need to make sure that if you do buy stock, that they have access to water, they have access to feed for like however long you're going to be away. And then you do have, because it almost takes a village to run a farm as well. If you're going to be an absentee owner, you need someone that's going to be there to try and assist to, if there is a problem, if there is cattle that are getting out, or
make good friends with your neighbours.
I'll
make good friends with your neighbours. Yep.
Hopefully there's a few South fans in the district.
I'll bet you there will be. Yeah.
What else you got?
What about day one? The settlement's done. We're on the farm day one. What's the first thing what you guys would be doing?
Crack a beer and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like take it all in and literally just think to yourself what this massive achievement is that you've just went through.
Okay.
Because it's not an easy task. Even, for someone like yourself, like coming from a non-farming background, just really take that whole experience in of like getting onto that farm and just enjoying that whole process, and then think about, this is all the work that I've got ahead of me, but it's going to be a great experience as well, because
farming is a marathon.
It's definitely a marathon.
Like,
it's not a sprint.
Yeah. Every day is just you chipping away at the next thing and the next thing. It's sort of like imagine it'd be like your career at footy. Like,
Exactly
you have to really enjoy the time that you're there, because it's not going to be forever. And same thing with farming. Like, you got to enjoy the journey to get there. Don't just try and rush to the end of like, oh, I've, finished my farm, it's all beautiful and I can sit back and relax now. Like, enjoy the time that you're there.
And we've been on our farm for 10 years now, and it's come a long way. Like, we've done a lot of work, but it's the vision that we set initially for our farm is starting to come to fruition, but we've still got 10 or 15 years of work in front of us of the things that we want to achieve as well. So like Pinky said, enjoy it. It's a marathon. Have a think about, like, because it's exciting, like this vision that you want to come to fruition, write it down, and then just get onto the farm and have a beer, I reckon.
Yeah, that's good advice. I vibe with what you're saying there about it being a marathon, not a sprint. Like I said before, I relate everything to footy, and I just, although I know it's going to be hard to be a farmer, I love the values that it can potentially teach you. Like, if I related to my rehab journey this year and looking back on it now, getting close to going on the field, like, I've learned so much through all the hardship. And everyone says that if you're not growing, then you're going backwards, and all growth comes out of hardship, not out of the comfort zone. And so I just think there's some really good values that you can instill not only in yourself but in raising kids and in parenthood and stuff like that as well. And just the patience, the turning up and doing your best every day and just chipping away every day. A good
100%.
One of the good coaches who I've had in my career, one of his great one-liners is, if you turn up and do your best every day, you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. And so I'm really excited to sort of relate that to farming, and hopefully there's a lot of lessons to be learned.
Yeah, for sure. I think
it's going to be great.
Yeah. It's like, what was I going to say? I don't know.
Yeah, I think definitely exactly what you just said then, Cam. Like, it's, you've got a long way to go, but I think just enjoying that every single journey, and there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be, that you've experienced through footy. It's an emotional roller coaster. Your mindset for me is the biggest thing that I struggled with initially when we got on our farm, and just changing, my mindset around, okay, because there's a lot of things that are out of your control, but
similar to like you being in an injury at the moment, like you can get in that mindset of being like, fuck, why did this happen to me? Like, you can get really down in the dumps, I imagine, like, especially being injured in like something that you're so passionate about. Hey.
Yeah.
And then
early on,
like farming's the same. Like, you're dealing with like what you said before, like a lot of things that are out of your control, price fluctuations, the weather, and it's easy to get down on yourself. But farmers are like they've got the most perseverance and optimism out of anybody, because they're always looking for just that little tiny bit of silver lining, like, oh, it might rain tomorrow, or the prices might jump next week. Like, they're very like optimistic people.
Yeah. A lot of similarities.
I love it.
You still have time for more questions, because I've got plenty more.
Yeah.
One more.
One more.
Can I have two?
Yeah,
two more.
This first one is so over the last 10 years, what improvements have you guys done to your place, and what is ahead in terms of improvements or different sort of enterprises or income streams that you guys are looking at?
Yeah, I think like the first one, what I would say is like, and it obviously gets talked about a lot in regen ag, but is water and wire. Like, we invested, like when we first came to our place, it was basically 2,000 acres of one paddock. It was just, there wasn't really any infrastructure or anything that was split up. Our house paddock was a horse paddock, had a bit of an electric fence around it. And then we just slowly started investing in, we bought a machine, an excavator, so that we could create our own water sources. Like, we didn't have a bore on the property, so we were basically digging dams. And then we started splitting our paddocks up so that we could rotate those paddocks every couple of days, and try and utilize that to improve our soil, because our soil on our farm, it's not, wasn't amazing, but we've set out that our mission was to try and make like improve our soil over the last 10 years of farming here. So yeah, I think that's probably one. What else would you say?
The water's a big thing. Like we went through a really, really horrific drought here. So like we were adamant not to be in that position again where we had to, like, we had livestock dying, we were trucking in water, like our dams were bone dry, like it was like really horrific. So we were like, how do we like future proof ourselves? It's like what we said before, you go through a challenge and then you think of ways that you can better proof yourself for the next time that challenge you're faced with that challenge. So we put a lot of time into improving our water infrastructure. So we've got a lot more dams, we've got tanks that feed troughs, we've got and like Dave said, having the paddock split up helps manage when you are in a drought because you can rotate your stock a lot more. You've got like access, like when cattle have just got access to one big paddock, they'll just eat the sweet stuff. So they'll just all mob together and eat all the sweet grass and then not really like graze the rougher stuff. But when they're like in smaller paddocks, they're sort of forced to graze evenly across the whole paddock, which is like really helpful when things do come into a drought or drier times, like that you can like selectively graze and manage your grazing a lot better. So wire and water, like Dave said, fencing wire and lots of water.
All right, good to know.
And we built a house, which was quite nice because we lived, like when we first moved to the farm, it was just a tin shed. So that was pretty rough. Like, I hope that you didn't buy Miranda a shed.
I've seen his house, mate. It's pretty flash. Got a nice picture.
It's a nice house. It's a nice house.
Well, that's good.
And last one, sorry, for day one on the farm, what's the base sort of nutrition or supplements for cattle do you think I need to sort of look at doing for like the first mob that come onto the farm?
Yeah, I think the first thing that we did was get some soil samples done. So we contacted our local agronomists. We did some soil samples. We got it sent away to the lab, and then we tested about what our soils were lacking and what we needed to supplement our cattle with. So that there was no point in giving supplements to cattle like that's off the shelf sort of stuff. That's, it might be, they might need some of that, but not some of that. And, so we wanted to design our own supplement program and our own like dry lick that we put out to help supplement those cows.
Okay.
Which is similar to what you've done with your injury too. Exactly, like right. You're having specific supplements based on what you need right now, and your cattle will be the same on your farm. So you go and get that soil tested and you might find that it's lacking in copper and magnesium and a bit of phosphorus. Yep. So then you work with the agronomist at the local produce supply place, and they'll say, right, well, this supplement will be great on your farm because like it'll give your cattle that extra bit of supplement that your soil's lacking. So, you don't just like you said, you probably wouldn't be like having heaps of collagen if you didn't have that tear right now. Like you'd be on like different sorts of supplements. So you just got to make sure that you're supplementing like the lacking minerals on your place.
All right. And so you just put out like licks for the cattle in relation to what's deficient in the soil. Do you add anything to the soil, like any type of fertilizer as well? Or?
Yeah, so we're always trying to improve the soil as well. So whatever those initial soil tests came back at, that's the thing that we're trying to improve on those in our fertilizer program and in our natural grazing of those pastures as well. So we're
specific fertilizer based on what you're lacking.
Yeah, definitely.
Good to know.
Yeah.
You'll be right, mate. You're all over it.
Yeah. Okay, so looking ahead, like when you imagine being back out there, like on the field, what are you most looking forward to, Cam?
I'm just looking forward to being out there, like particularly this year.
Not taking the first hit up off the kickoff.
Oh, if I need to, I will. But ideally not. We'll leave that to one of the big boys. But yeah, I don't know if you guys or any of your listeners have been following this season, but it's been a bit of a season from hell from us, and I've just felt so helpless on the sidelines, just sitting there. And so I just want to be out there just to help out. Really, I've got such a deep respect and love for all of my teammates that have been out there deep in the trenches this year, just fighting hard to play good footy and to get results. And I just felt so helpless on the sideline, and so I really like, my biggest motivation is just to get out there, work hard and get out there and just help them out. Really, that's literally the only thing I want to do. Like you obviously want results, you want to win, you want to be successful. But right now my motivation is just to be out there and help them as best I can, really. So that's what's fueling me.
Oh, you're a machine, mate. I'm sure the boys will be excited to have you back.
Yeah, hopefully.
And just the last one from me before Bianca starts having a talk, but for any young people out there facing a setback, like, you know, you just talked about it before, about the challenges that you've been through and your whole mindset and everything. But for young people facing a setback, what advice would you want to give to them?
I think, to keep it simple, probably just going back on what I said about the coach that gave me some good advice, and he just said, turn up and do your best every day and you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. And so finding like a consistent routine and just chipping away at it and working towards a goal, chipping away at it and test and sort of testing your patience, testing your resilience, and embracing all the hardship and having faith to know that you're going to be a better person for overcoming it. So if I relate that to my rehab journey, like when I first got out of the boot, well, actually, so 6 weeks in, I got an infection and I went back in for 2 washout surgeries. And so I had 3 surgeries all up, and I was in the boot and in the cast for an extra 2 to 3 weeks. And so it wasn't the best start for me. But once I got out of the boot, I couldn't walk really. And then once, probably a couple of weeks, I was out of the boot and I could start some actual strength exercises on it. I couldn't do like a single leg calf raise. I could hardly do a double leg calf raise. And if you're impatient and you're not trusting the process, you can get. I found myself in moments during the journey feeling really upset and angry and frustrated that I just couldn't do what I wanted, what I knew I needed to do to get back out there. So if I was in that real short-term mindset of just being pissed off and angry that I couldn't do a single leg calf raise, it would have been a long journey. But I taught myself to trust the journey, and I just tried every day to just get a little bit stronger, and just tick off all the rehab exercises that the physios were giving me and were working with me with. And eventually, if I just looked at it from a short-term perspective, I would have got upset and angry that I wasn't able to do a single leg calf raise in that moment. But over a 4-week period, if I just ticked it off little slowly, sort of strength reps every day, after 4 weeks, I could do a couple. And then after 8 weeks, I could do 30. And then after that, I was doing, a month after that, I was doing single leg hops. And so if you actually look at something long term and you're just chipping away at it every day, you've just given your best turning up, then you really are amazed at how far you can come. So just looking back, it's been probably 4 months since I've been out of the boot, and the difference between the day I went out of the boot to now, like I'm almost back full training. And so it's always hard, and hindsight is always a gift, and it's easy for me, or it's easy for anyone to say, get a routine, just chip away at it every day, turn up and give your best every day, and you'll get over it. It's really hard to understand that in the moment, but if you really just trust the process, find a daily routine, and then write some goals down to work towards, and just chip away at it every day. If you have the discipline to do that, you'll be able to sort of achieve anything you want. So that's kind of the motto and sort of the values that I've been living by over the last couple of months.
Oh, that's great advice, mate. You're a legend.
I think you should really listen to that advice in your farming journey too, because It's exactly the same. It's not day one isn't going to be perfect, but over that journey, over the years that you're on your farm, you'll start to really notice the difference that you're making.
It's the 1% every day. It'll slowly get better, and then you'll look back and go, holy shit, I've achieved this. So
yeah, I can imagine. I just feel like farming is just the ultimate long game, isn't it? Like, even if you've got a farm, a farm design you're trying to do, you're putting windbreaks in with trees and stuff, the trees don't grow overnight. You got to be patient, you got to nurture them, and you just got to sort of trust the process. And so I just really love the whole concept of it. So
100%. Excited for you.
Thank you.
Okay, last question. And it's not farming related. Yeah. It's food related. So who does the cooking at home?
So it's a bit of an interesting one. So when I really didn't care much about, it's not that I didn't care, but I wasn't really down the rabbit hole that I am. Miranda did all the cooking because she grew up. Her dad was a chef, and he's the best. He's the best cook I know. So she learned from the best. So she knew all the recipes. She knew how to cook. But as I started going down the rabbit hole a little bit more, and then baby came along, there wasn't a lot of time for Miranda to sort of do the cooking anymore. I do it every night now. I'm the primary cook in the household. I have been for probably a year and a half or so now, maybe 2 years.
Not just a pretty face.
I can't say that I'm any good. I can say that I tick all the boxes with the macros and calories, nutrition, and then all the other sort of nutrient density and the sourcing from farmers. The produce is good, but I'm still working on the final result. So.
What's your go-to meal? So like at the end of every episode, we finish off with like a recipe. Like what's your ultimate favorite recipe that you would cook at home, and like a brief rundown?
All right. It's not very complicated. My favorite thing to cook is just a really good cooked steak, just baked potatoes and some good veggies.
Simple.
What's the best steak, mate? What's your go-to?
Scotch fillet's good, but Miranda doesn't love the fat, so I've got to cut around the fat for her. So she gets all the lean cuts, and then I just get the rest. So that's how it works in our house. And then she likes to mix it up with it. She loves her veggies and her salads and stuff like that. So she fried up some broccolini and some Brussels sprouts last night, some balsamic vinegar. So she put the cherry on top. She made it look good and taste good. So that's the go-to in our house.
Awesome.
Nice. Well, thanks for that, Cam. Appreciate everything.
No worries.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Paddock Talk with Cam Murray. It's great to see so many of our country's top athletes are thinking more about where their food comes from, and we can't wait to see where Cam goes on his farming journey and watch his progress, and hopefully we'll see some Cam Murray beef coming through our cow one day, not too distant future. See you next time on Paddock Talk.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.